Good morning. Let me start with a big thank you to Dr. Lee and AMRO for inviting me to participate in the inaugural ASEAN Plus 3 Economic Cooperation and Financial Stability Forum. Organizations like AMRO, the ASEAN Plus 3 Macroeconomic Research Office, and regional financing arrangements like the CMIM that rose out of the Chiang Mai Initiative have been critical players in crisis preparedness and response. And in a more shock-prone world, the goal of this forum, forging resilience and sustainability amid uncertainty, could not be more important or more timely. Over the past several decades, we have seen crises that have called us to action and pressed us to better understand and better prepare for shocks so we can safeguard economic stability and prosperity. That is why AMRO's work as a pillar of regional macroeconomic surveillance is so important. Compared to the Asian financial crisis and even the global financial crisis, the scale and expanse of what we have experienced in the past 2.5 years is different. No region was spared. And we see that wide impact reflected in the exceptionally difficult global economic outlook. Over the past year, the IMF has downgraded our global outlook multiple times as the lingering effects of the pandemic and the shockwaves of Russia's invasion of Ukraine continue to take their toll. We expect only 2.7% growth in 2023, and recession risks are rising for many countries. That said, ASEAN countries are a bright spot, with growth projected at 5% this year, moderating slightly in 2023. Still, the outlook is exceptionally uncertain, and it is dominated by risks. Risks from the war, from global financial tightening, from the slowdown in China. Another pressing global challenge is inflation. It is expected to average only 4% in Asia this year, but inflationary pressures in the region are rising, including as currencies depreciate against the US dollar. Meanwhile, economic and political fragmentation loom large, making it harder to work on areas that can only be addressed through global cooperation. And that is exactly why this forum and the desire to bring us together to create a platform for knowledge exchange and policy discussion are so essential to our shared goals. From the fund's part, we focus on 3 key policy priorities. First, monetary policy. It should maintain a tight stance to reduce inflation and ensure that inflation expectations remain anchored, which is critical for central banks' credibility. Second, fiscal policy. It has a tough balancing act to look out for vulnerable families and businesses, but without undermining monetary policy. That means providing targeted and temporary support to ensure access to food and energy while transitioning away from broad-based subsidies. And countries can offset spending needed with savings elsewhere or with new revenues, which will preserve fiscal space and limit debt. Finally, external and financial policies should be deployed to safeguard macrofinancial stability and avert systemic risks. Foreign exchange interventions may be used to counter disorderly market conditions and may be justified when frictions emerge in shallow foreign exchange and debt markets. But this is not a substitute for sound macroeconomic policies. And in case of crisis or imminent crisis, capital flow management measures may be an option for some countries to lessen outflow pressures. We don't know how long these shocks will last or what other shocks may come. And for this reason, we need to rebuild and preserve buffers and be prepared to use the full policy toolkit. Coming back to the spirit of this forum, let me finish with the importance of international cooperation. This applies to how we work together. The IMF and AMRO have deepened our relationship in recent years, including joint exercises, regular meetings, and our annual seminar. And the fund remains committed to continue our close collaboration with AMRO. On the financing front, consistent with our respective mandates and comparative advantages, we can join forces using both our traditional lending toolkit as well as our precautionary tools to help prevent crises. The importance of adopting a precautionary mindset will only grow in a more shock-prone world. And I'm encouraged by how closely we have been engaging to build institutional relations, to share knowledge, to expand our capacities. This inaugural forum offers a great opportunity to explore how together we can better assess and prepare for our shared challenges and future strengthening of the global financial safety net. I want to thank you for all the work you're doing, and I want to wish you all the best during this forum.